Hello, early learners, and welcome back to the Art Room. It's our week where we're learning all about Clementine Hunter. She was the artist that lived in Louisiana on a plantation, and the photograph that I have of her has her holding her red hen. And I brought the red hen today because we are going to talk about the print Chicken Hauling Flowers. So I'm going to put the hen aside for right now and talk to you a little bit about yesterday when we painted the zinnias from Zinnias in a Pot from 1965. And here's mine, dry and ready to be highlighted with some chalk. But I'm going to wait and do that at the end, just in case we run out of time. But I want to show you what it looks like when you take the tape off of the artwork, and it makes a little rim of white. And you'll see how much nicer it is when you go to put it up on the wall, that it has a little bit of a rim on it. So we'll take the rest of that off after we do the chalk. I hope you brought your painting, and if you didn't, paint it and then remember how we took it and used our chalk that way. All right, so today is the chicken hauling flowers. In the book we read yesterday, it told a lot about Clementine Hunter, and all the things that she painted were things from her memory of living on the plantation. And I wrote that little song about her. So let's take a look at our hen picture. I wanted you to see what a real hen looks like. And it's up here on this chart, and here it is. And you can kind of see that its body is kind of a half circle with a thumb shape for the head. Then you can add on the comb and the part underneath the wattle, and they often have a bright red around its eyes. And this is the little red hen, and she has her ankle comes down with the 3 toes in front and 1 in back. So we're going to be cutting and pasting something like that. I also brought the picture of the zinnia because in our print, Chicken Hauling Flowers, you can see the traditional way that Clementine did her people is she would put them in profile, which means standing sideways. And you wouldn't see much expression on their faces. Oftentimes you wouldn't even see that she had painted an eye or a smile. But you can see she's leading this gigantic hen that has a wagon on a wheel. There's a wheel on the other side too, 2 wheels, so the chicken was hauling it somewhere. Now we know a chicken cannot haul a big giant basket or wagon full of zinnias. But we're going to do something like that. It's going to be mixed media, where we're going to do cutting and pasting of some of it, and we're going to do a little chalk pastel or oil pastels on the rest of it. So I'm going to sing the little song to you and listen to the parts that you might remember from the story yesterday. And if you weren't here yesterday, you can think, oh, she painted what? She did things on the plantation? Oh, she fed chickens? Wait a minute, she does wash? So listen to how it goes. Oh, our artist, Clementine Hunter, painted pictures of her life on a plantation, feeding chickens, picking cotton, becoming a wife. Painted on bottles and on fence posts, quilted stories of her life. On a plantation, hanging laundry, picking pecans, becoming a wife. All righty, so today, the book I'm going to read has to do with a chicken. Because the art is about a chicken, I thought, well, what book do I know that I love that is about a chicken? And it's called The Little Red Hen. I have about 10 different versions of this book, The Little Red Hen, and this is one of my favorites. Now, you have a part in this book in the reading. When I say, and she did, you will do this, and she did. That's like, I'm finished with my job, so get your hands up for a clap and say, and she did. You're saying, finished with that. Because if you know the story, here all the characters are, and they are not very helpful. Let's take a look. The Little Red Hen, pictures by Max Vethuselis. If maybe that's what it says. His name is in a language, and I practiced it and wrote it out, but here is the story. Now I make my voice kind of like a hen, so if you want to do that too, you join in. One spring day, the little red hen found some grains of wheat in the garden, and she asked, "Who will help me plant this wheat?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. Everyone's looking so relaxed. "Not I," said the duck. "Then I'll do it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. All through the warm summer, the wheat grew and grew. The little red hen asked, "Oh, who'll help me tend this wheat?" And tend means take care of. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the duck. "Then I'll do it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. Fall came, and the wheat was yellow and tall. The little red hen asked, "Who will help me cut this wheat?" "Not I," said the cat. You can help say those words too, because they almost always say "not I." "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the duck. "Then I'll do it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. So she's cutting it all and putting it in the wheelbarrow all by herself. Soon the wheat was ready to grind into flour. The little red hen asked, "Who will help me take the wheat to be ground into flour?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the duck. "Then I'll do it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. One cold winter day, the little red hen took out the flour and she asked, "Who will help me bake this flour into bread?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the duck. "Then I'll do it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. Before long, the smell of freshly baked bread came drifting through the air, and the little red hen said, "Who will help me eat this bread?" "Oh, I will," said the cat. "I will," said the dog. "I will," said the duck. "No, you won't," said the little red hen. "I will eat it myself. I planted the wheat. I tended the wheat. I cut the wheat. I ground the wheat into flour. I baked the flour into bread. Now I will eat the bread." And what do you think the last thing we say? And she did. Look, "Hey, I want some. What about me?" I wonder if later she gives some to them. Most of the time, characters feel badly for their friends for being so greedy. But I wonder if the red hen will. I have another story about the red hen. It's called The Little Yellow Chicken, but we're not reading it today. It's because we have art to make. Boys and girls, let's take a look. I brought my big box of scrapped paper, but I also made myself bring the paper that I had told you about. So let me put my table on my legs, and let's take a look at what we're doing. Here's my white paper. I said, please bring white paper. And I know our inspiration is done in a landscape way. It's side to side like this. I thought about bringing some yellow paper, but I wanted to be sure that my pastels would be able to be seen on the white paper. So here I have kind of red hen paper, and I brought this brown paper to make the wagon. So I'll put that there. Here's where my hen goes, and I needed an extra piece for her neck. So I'll put those there just to give you an idea. And I know that I will probably need some orange for her legs and red for her pieces of on her comb on her head and the caruncle under, oh no, she doesn't have a caruncle, that's a turkey. She has a wattle under her chin. So I'll get out a piece of orange for those things too, and so for her legs. All right, and now when I talked to you about this yesterday, I said, or maybe it was just today when we looked at the photograph of the hen, that her body is really like a half circle. So what I'm going to do is take my piece of paper and get my scissors up here and my glue stick, and I'm going to do the half circle body. Any scraps I might use for her tail, so I just keep it from the top, and to make this into a half circle, I just cut down and make like a letter U. I wonder if that's going to make her too chubby. I can always trim it. There we go, and I'll put it on my white paper to get a dry fit and see how it looks. So here's my white paper. Get off of here, all you colored paper. Set it up on the top here. So I'll put my red hen here. I have to make sure I leave room for the wagon. I'm going to put some flowers in there. Let's see how big the wagon is. Boys and girls, the wagon in this picture is really kind of a basket, and I just have to just cut it down like this. It's cutting off the corners. It ends up taking off the corners and making that like a basket like that. I might need a big piece of black in order to make the wheels for my wagon. I think I better get a bigger piece than what I was getting out. A lot of my scraps I've used for different projects here, and you'll recognize them. The wheel is going to be about that big. Now I know that it's kind of hard to cut a circle. If you like to draw your things ahead of time, go ahead, but I've taught you just to cut off the corners to make a circle. And it doesn't make a perfect circle, but for me, if it's going to be folk art, it's okay. So there's the wagon wheel. Now I told you for the hen's head, it's like a thumb. So if I hold my thumb on my paper, I can draw around it and then cut it out. So I just draw around my thumb and see if that's going to make a good hen head. I'd cut it out on the line that I drew around my thumb. And if you think that you want your hen's head to be bigger or smaller, you know, you just trim it off. I think, hey, that looks pretty good. In order to make things easier, I think I've told you before what I do is I make it into a smaller rectangle so that it's easier. Now I can glue this head on here, and I think that's the easiest way. You do yours how you like to do your art, but this is the way, if you're not a person who does a lot of cutting and pasting, this is how I do it. I make sure that I get that on there all along her head so that I can then just cut a wiggle woggle on there and just make sure it goes down around her head, just like a real hen. I might have to make my wagon going this way because I've now cut my hen's head this way, and she has to be pulling this way. That's okay. That's why I don't glue my things down right away, because I like to dry fit it and see how does that look. And I think we're off to a good start. I'm going to use the orange to give her a good beak. I'm going to use that and see how big that is. Remember what I said? Kind of see what kind of rectangle you might need. That's about the right size. So I say to myself, usually their bottom beak is a little thinner than the top, so I can cut a triangle and then cut in a little bit to make a smaller bottom beak than the top beak. What do you think about this? Well, that looks pretty good. I'll put glue on my small piece to add it to my bigger piece. So I'm going to put it just on the straight edge of the triangle. So I just rub it on here, and I put it behind so you don't see the seam. Oh, pretty good. That looks pretty good. I think I'm ready to put the head onto the body. So I'll do that. Now my hen is off to a good start. Now, she needs a little bit on her backside to make it have some feathers there. And what I'll do is just use that piece where the head was and cut it down a little bit. And I might even do some zigzags to make it have some feathers that might stand up. You do your tail how you like. If you like it as just a triangle, do a triangle. But if you like it to be kind of feathery, go in and in. You can just make little zigzags. And I could do it like I do my grass. In, in. See how that looks on her tail. Pretty good. So I'm going to use it on the little piece. Add glue pretty much that whole bottom part. Scoot it on. Pretty good. I think I might like to put a wing on her. On this one, they have like a saddle on her in order to make her, the saddle kind of to hook her up to the wagon to pull it. I don't know if I'll do that. That seems pretty involved, but I think it's time I can put my hen on my paper. So let me get glue stick all around the edges. Remember how I've stressed to you how important it is to get it on your edges? Otherwise they tend to pop up. Put my chicken here. Chicken and hen is the same thing. You can use either word if you're describing your work. I'm going to move my wagon for the chicken to haul the flowers and put it back a little bit. Not too far away because I have to put some kind of leash, or what is that called? Get the reins I think it's called. There, I'll put the wagon wheel on there. I'm going to give her 2 legs. So you know what I've talked to you about? If you fold your paper in half, you'll be able to do 2 about the same size. So I'm just going to start out by doing a triangle and up. It ends up being a capital Y kind of, and I just go like this. See how it looks like a capital Y? But then they're still stuck together on the fold. So I can undo it after I cut some of the toes. I'm going to put 1 in back and maybe 2 or 3 in the front. So I'll do my zig and my zag, my zig and my zag. Now you see, here's my folded piece. I'll just cut it on the fold, and I can stick those legs this way. And I like to make them look like they're walking, so I move it forward. So let me get this and put the glue stick on that. Oh, I got a little bit too much. Remember, don't wind your glue stick up too high because then you waste your glue. I'm just getting a lot all over my hands. I'll be picking up things with my fingers today and it'll be all gluey. I do think I need a wing. And the wing is like a half circle too. So I will see how, oh, perfect size. So I'll just use my scraps and the wing and I'll put some feathers there. In, cut out a triangle. In, angle it, in, cut out a triangle. In, cut out a triangle, and in. Boys and girls, when they are hauling, I'm going to just pick, sorry, I'm interrupting my own sentence. When they're hauling things, I think they have to make their wing kind of fly out a little bit. So I'm only attaching it at her shoulder, so then the wing can stand up. Let's look and see what we have so far. I do like it. I like it a lot. Now I have to put on an eye, but I think I'm going to do that with the pastels. But let me get out a skinny piece of black, because a skinny piece of black can go from her neck to the wagon, and I need 2 of them because it's going to go on either side. So look, I'm just cutting a long skinny, kind of like a licorice. I'll do my licorice reins, both the same length, test it out. Is it going to go to the wagon? Will it go around her neck? I don't want to choke her. I liked it that they had a little thing that they hooked it to her back. I like that better than around her neck. You never want to put something around your neck, boys and girls, to pull it anywhere, because that will choke you. Never tie things around your neck. I don't even want to do it to my paper chicken. So I'm going to just put it to her back and pretend she has on a little saddle. put it to here for her to pull that. And the other one, well, she doesn't even have it showing here. So maybe I will just put this on the top like it's a little saddle like they did. Maybe I can even do a little half circle saddle. See how big it needs to be. About that big. Brink. Come on, little red hen, I'll give you a little saddle so you don't have to put this around your neck, because we don't want to be bad examples, boys and girls, and say, oh, tie it around your neck, because we don't. There, I like how that looks. Okay, let me find if I've did with my glue stick lid, but I think I don't know where it is, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, the part of it that is talking about it's hauling flowers, here are my oil pastels. Let me bring them over to the table. I can do the wagon wheels. See on their wagon wheel, they had orange spokes in a middle section. So I'm going to use, I think I like the idea of white wagon wheel. So I'm going to do a circle inside there to show what part's the wagon and what part are the wagon slats. I'm just going from that little circle in the middle, out, 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 out. Pretty good. Doesn't my wheel look more like a wheel now? I think I'll use that white to make her eye too. And put a little dot there for her middle of her eye, her iris. I did not give her her red wattle, and that makes it important. On my chicken, it really is just a little teardrop. So I will put some glue. Oh, I didn't even need to put my lid back on because there it was waiting for me, and it goes under her beak. Oh, much better, boys and girls. I think that's really good. Now remember about our zinnias. They were circles. So I'm going to start out with some centers. I'm just going to put some polka dots around so I can draw my flowers, because otherwise this would not be called hauling flowers if I never drew any flowers. And we know that the zinnias go around and around that circle. So I'm just doing little stripes out, a little bit more. And we know that I could use a pink one, because the zinnias are so many different colors. I went to the nursery to look for them. They really are a summer flower. So I had to go to a neighbor's garden and beg him for his, because he said he liked the color and he wanted it to be there for Thanksgiving, and couldn't I come back another day? So this morning, 7 o'clock, I rode down there and cut the flowers that are on the chair by us. I think I might do a kind of a yellow-orange one. Boys and girls, I'm going to keep doing this, but I want to remind you about tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about a memory house picture. The project that we're going to do is memories that Clementine had, but we're going to talk about chores that we do at our own home. So overnight, talk to your family and say, what are my chores? Maybe you already know. Maybe you have to keep your room tidy. Maybe you're a person who clears the table after dinner. I don't know. There'll be lots of chores. We're going to talk about chores, which are little jobs that you do, and we're going to make a memory house, because that's what Clementine does. She does a little memory house, and you're going to bring pink paper and your scissors. You'll bring glue or glue stick, oil pastels if you have them. If not, what do we use? Yep, our regular crayons. You will bring colored pencils, and I'm bringing a ruler so that I can measure how far away from the top while I want to make the pink paper. Well, here is my hen hauling the flowers. I might add more later. I really should put the ground that she has to walk on, because you just go across. You never just put it at the very bottom. You move it up a little bit, because our picture needs to be grounded. Let's see if I can do a little bit on my zinnia paper from yesterday. Okay, to make this, I will use colors like a darker blue perhaps to show the sides of my vessel so it looks rounded. you'll see I can do this. I can add more to it because as the end of the day comes and I start to hurry, I don't want to hurry you along. Boys and girls, it was really great getting together today and doing another one of Clementine's pictures, and we can say, oh, it's goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Give a smile and wink your eye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Do you see how the shadows make it look like a form? Boys and girls, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.